Welcome back to the Electric Z Project. This episode is again sponsored by our good friends at Fiberglass. In this episode, we're building floors.
Trash.
What about these floors?
We got a big square rectangle panel here. We can go just bond that boy in there and just call it a day. So you saw we added these frame rails here from KO Vintage that we actually chopped and extended all the way to the end for maximum strength here in the floor. What we're going to be doing is taking this panel that I made in a recent, not episode because I didn't film it because I'm a bad YouTuber. This is a Divinicel foam 1/2 inch thick, I think, foam core. And it's got a layer of 3K, 6K, 12K foam, 12K, 6K, 3K on the bottom. We sanded, this is just made on a piece of glass, and then we sanded the backside and satin cleared this. I did run out of satin clear on the second run because I was clearing all the trunk panels, but this is literally going to be on the ground, so this is going to get scraped up, I'm sure. And then this ugly side is going to be inside the car. This is the side that the peel ply was on, so this is a really good keyed surface to bond things to. So we're going to try out this EpiCoat MGS VPR20. I don't know. This is another glue comparable to DP420, but it's not like $100 and some per small container.
Yeah, dude, when you told me how much that stuff costs,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I think a 10 pack of DP420 is $1,600. So the large ones, but the large ones are smaller than this container. I don't know how many milliliters it is or whatever, however they judge us. Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. But also, this is available at Fiberglass, both the gun and this container stuff. We also have carbon floors that we've made with pre-preg from Fiberglass. It is dusty, but it is a 240Z floor pan, but the section that curves up for the transmission tunnel, we cut to back where it is actually flat before it transitions into a curve. Because this panel is obviously going to go in the center, and then these panels are going to bond in on top of the frame rail. The frame rail runs here, and also bond into the rocker, and then we're going to run rivets through the rocker as well. So bond this guy in, finish prepping everything. While that's drying, we're going to spray the entire chassis black, and then the floors can go in tomorrow morning.
what's step one?
So step one's going to be grinding the inside lip here that the carbon floor is going to bond to.
Roll free.
Oh, can you pass me that blower? You're good. But we are pretty much ready to go on this. Actually, I need tape.
Always talking shit.
What, sprayer?
Yep.
It's so fucking loud as soon as you walk here. Ah! He was like, why are you always taking my shit? I was like, to be fair, we brought these shop towels in here, so. All my colorful marks all over it. Cool. Those clean lines. All right. Guesses? It's gonna be green or white?
Umbrella.
The fuck did you just say?
Umbrella. Green, yellow.
Actually, it's a good idea to squeeze a little bit of it out before, make sure it's mixing well.
See? Oh,
Oh
umbrella.
shit. Comment below if Gorello is a color. It's not. Spoiler, it's not.
You gotta walk around with that test strip. A foot full of glue.
It will get stuck to your foot. One of our feet. Do you want to grab a brush, actually? One of those shitty brushes? Yeah, you can probably just use one brush. Is probably fine. Yeah, kind of even. Even-ish.
Getting that grelly everywhere.
Oh my god. As long as it doesn't land on me.
Yeah, those danger signs are serious.
You will die if you touch it. If it touches you.
You might explode.
It will kill your fish. Something wrong with that boy.
There you go, bang.
Did you rip it back here, or?
Yeah, it just rips.
Did you record it going in the trash? That's gonna make the cut.
Make sure that doesn't get into any.
Especially with that audio.
I mean, he already recorded you asking me to go get the degreaser, so now I just look like your bitch. Did I get it on the cage?
Yeah, from your arm. But also when I pulled the tape it.
Listen, I fed it under to you. That's what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You did a great job. Killing the game.
You took one for the team.
It's in there. We got a floor section, center thing. Yeah. Yeah, a third of a floor. It's the biggest piece though. So we're gonna let this sit up for an unknown amount of time because I didn't read the instructions. When you're doing this, if you're ever bonding a floor into your carbon fiber electric Z, read the instructions that come from fiberglass. We know we work real fast, so we're like, yeah, we're gonna be faster than the pot life or whatever the stuff is. But we're gonna let this sit at least overnight, but we will check and make sure we let it rest for enough time. All right, and then do a little sanding and prepping and sanding this mud right back here. And then take all the panels out and spray steel it. Stainless steel in a can. They're not sponsoring us, but this stuff is actually the shit. I got it in the black. It dries like a kind of like a satin semi-gloss black finish. And it has little itty bitty bits of stainless steel in it. So you can spray your cage and everything else. But this way we can, if we have to add on any tabs or anything weird, we can just weld right to this stuff. Prep it, you can go as like Course's 80 grit wax and grease remover on the whole thing, which is what we're about to do. Spray it, 4 coats of this on everything. It is expensive as hell, but it is worth it. It's kind of like a hardened powder coat kind of finish at the end of it. Like I said, you can weld directly to it, so it's cool. All right, so we sprayed the interior with Steel It. It's a very nice finish. I do have to do more coats though. I ran out of Steel It on our, I think maybe like even just like our second coat. You're supposed to do 4. So I got them ordered, but in the meantime, we'll still bond the floors in and I could just tape them up and we can hit it with more coats. We have our floor pan, 6 layers of 3K pre-preg baked in our huge oven. And what I've done is I've outlined where it's going to be sitting. So when we lay on the epoxy, we can just press it in. And I've also like pre-drilled all these holes. We're going to throw self-tapping screws in, probably not all of these ones along the side, but maybe every other one. But we're gonna throw these self-tapping screws in to hold it in place while the epoxy dries. We're gonna use 5-minute epoxy to knock this out real quick. Did I not throw those? And then once it's fully cured, we'll pull these out, drill the holes a little bit bigger, and then we'll run these black rivets along there. Dude, that drill is not going through there. It was on its last leg. And going through this many layers of pre-preg is gonna kill a bit also. And there's like 25 holes in this thing. How's it going?
Well, I'm a Smurf now, so.
He's gonna join the Blue Man group. All right, now that we got it all screwed in, we gotta take it back out. But we know everything's lined up where it needs to be. I pulled it tight to this side first, then down. And then we're gonna have to put some weight on this because it's touching the frame rail here, but right here it needs to go in down a little bit. But probably grab like a blanket or something, put like a rotor or something that's heavy right here. So we're gonna put 2 beads along the frame rails as well. Dabbing epoxy. loopy. Great. Make sure it's not touching.
Get a squeeze.
Yeah, we're good. We got good adhesion along the rocker. I mean, along the rocker and along the frame rail.
I guess it takes like what, 24 hours to truly cure? Or
No, this stuff's faster. This will be like fully cured within like 3 or 4 hours,
oh, shit.
and it will be set in like 15-20 minutes.
So it's what is it? 5 minutes until it gets
5
tacky?
minutes of working time is how much time you have until it starts to get hard. But that's also a guesstimate because depends on the temperature and climate shit that you're in. So it's probably a little less than 5 minutes here because it's a hot one today. Just gotta pull all of these in sheet metal screws and throw rivets in them. But gotta wait for it to cure.
Do you approve?
Yes, I approve.
Good. I'm glad.
Black on carbon.
Glad the intern approves.
Did Tim just find an Easter egg on his own vehicle?
No.
Stay tuned with
Easter
another
egg.
episode of Street Bandito.
We figured it out.
What year car do you have?
76. Didn't know.
What does that mean in 230? 240?
Well, it means it's a 280, not a 240, which we already knew. But we're gonna keep calling it a 240 because it has 240 rear parcel shelf, trunk, floor pans, frame rails. It's a 240. Do I look like an orangutan? So we got floors. Our floors are in, complete. They're very sturdy, strong.
How strong?
Very strong. So you saw us bond these bad boys in last time, I think. I don't remember what we recorded.
Yeah, you bonded in that side. I didn't
Bad-
see you do this side, but
Bad YouTuber moment. Yeah, and through rivets and everything. We pulled out, after it dried, we pulled out the screws, drilled them all the way through a little wider, and then threw rivets in it. Don't worry about all this like rust dust, all the grinding and like cutting I had to do to mount this brake pedal, which we'll talk about in the next episode. Shot a bunch of stuff here, and then the roof leaks, so
yeah, you
annoying.
got
But
nothing to
the whole
put.
interior's got to get sprayed again anyway. So the nice side of this panel obviously is facing down because all of this is going to get covered by the transmission tunnel. For now, we got our floors mounted. We welded in the braces that go across. So there's 3 braces across both frame rails from the underside. So it's structurally super sound across here. And then the front section up here, I made these carbon pieces and then bonded everything here so it's all watertight, kind of. All this up here is sealed up. The subframe, I added a really thick metal plate to the inside of, and then I drilled holes, and then we bonded in these little retainers. So they're like retainers built for composites. So it's just like a regular 10 mil bolt through the bottom of the subframe, because the subframe needs to be removable. What we'll do once we get all the rest of our suspension and steering components, we'll load up the subframe with the steering rack and the control arms and stuff. We'll just bolt it up one time.
Those are the same retainers you use when doing your, I think, splitter. It was one
Yeah.
of the episodes we showed them.
Yeah, well, when we did the splitter on that crazy wide body Porsche,
Okay.
the LS7 and all that stuff. But yeah, exactly, same exact retainers. I think these are actually a little bit larger. Those were like M4 or something like that, but
Okay.
whatever. Same exact thing, pretty much. I also finished welding all of the stuff up here and then threw a little bit of steelit on that as well. We're gonna need to finish off some of the firewall and like the wheel well area. I kind of combined both those. But But yeah, so that'll all get painted, and then we will do a crazy carbon firewall piece in here that bounces over the batteries and all that stuff. But for now, let's wrap on this episode. Next episode, I'm not sure what we're doing, but we're doing something.